All right. Well, welcome to episode 5 of Behind the Turf. We're really excited about this episode. Today, we've got Zack Horne with us. He's our pest manager. He's got some really great experience in the industry prior to coming to Nature's Turf. If you want to speak just a minute about that.
Yeah, really excited to be here. A lot about my experience. I kind of got in the industry about 15 years ago. Really fell in love with it, just problem solving, working outdoors, meeting customers, and solving problems. So it's been a fun experience.
Yep. And then we've also got Ruth Wilkerson to join us.
Yep. I'm still working on the title, the exciting title that I'm going to have. Yeah.
And we shouldn't forget our sponsor. Our episode sponsored today by Nature's Turf Termite Protection. Where warm weather is consistent, termites are persistent. Georgia homeowners are particularly susceptible to termite infestations, which can cause more than $5 billion worth of damages across the United States every year. And because termites never sleep, they are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to wreak havoc on our homes. Protect your family's greatest investment by calling the experts at Nature's Turf to stop termites in their tracks.
We love our sponsors.
That was great.
They're amazing.
All right, so to kind of starting this off too, Zack and I met probably 7 or 8 years ago. We were actually working out at the gym together, across a small, CrossFit gym when I first moved to this area, and we kind of hit it off.
Yeah,
and we just kind of stayed connected. And long story short was when we felt like Nature's Turf was ready to kind of expand our offerings to our clients, and we had enough people asking about home pest control, it just seemed like the right fit. And so we've been working on this, 3 years now?
Going on 3
years. But I want to talk about termites because I think that's like just this hidden part of the industry that people are very confused about and don't know a whole lot about. So I hope we can answer some questions in this episode for our viewers and listeners. But I thought we'd start off with you, Ruth, like your experience with termites, like on a personal level. Like, what are your thoughts on when you see that bait station sitting there? Like, what are you thinking?
So my personal experience is when we moved into our home, I saw those bait stations lying around and kind of didn't know. They were old and expired, and I didn't know much about them though, but I knew about termites a little bit, but only from my experience living up north, and they advertised for them, but it didn't seem like a necessary thing. Nobody did it. And then coming down here, we were renovating our bathroom, and there was termite damage in the walls. There was boards that had been eaten. And so the previous owners had gotten termite protection. And for me, that was all I needed to see was just, this is clearly a problem. It's been a problem previously. Several neighbors had termite damage. And after learning about it, it's really not a matter of if, it's when you're going to experience termites on your property. So it's 100%, in my opinion, very essential. And I'm a minimalist when it comes to any of that kind of thing. So definitely have had personal experience.
So did y'all go with the bait stations when you did?
We did. We were given the option of liquid with one company and bait, and we decided to go with bait. I like being able to see them and having them checked and things like that. Just, it gave me a little more peace of mind to have the baits.
I don't know about you, but it's funny. It's like the bait stations, I just kind of trusted, but I really don't understand like what is that device.
No, I had no idea. No,
it's very
ultrasonic rays. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
like I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. And so Zack, I know you brought one with you, but I thought maybe you could just shed some light on like how does that little piece of plastic?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
on? Obviously you can see the slits in the side, right? Once we install these in the soil every 15 feet around the structure, termites are constantly foraging for food. Okay. And so once they hit on our bait, they'll leave a pheromone scent to our bait to the colony, and then they'll just continuously feed on it. And that's what eliminates the colony. It stops the molting process. So essentially they can't grow, and that keeps your home protected.
So you feel like it basically is more attractive to the termite than going for the actual house?
Absolutely. They prefer to eat on our bait over wood. So it's a very, very great product.
Yeah. And so when you open that thing up, like when you guys are out and inspecting them, like what is inside that thing as far as like, okay, yeah, there you go.
So in each station, there's 2 canisters. And so obviously the termites can enter through the bottom of it or the top. And so they'll just continuously feed on it. And when we're out there on inspecting the property, we'll replace it as needed. Okay. If we realize that 1/3 of it is only that remains. We need to go ahead and replace it so they can continuously feed on that source.
Huh. And so, but those you only like, I think one of the things that I think a lot of people are just confused about too is like on that particular one that you've got there, that's the annual inspection. Like it seems like such a long period of time. Like, is that enough?
It is enough, actually. This has came a long way. So there's multiple stations. They look identical. In the older stations, they're actually what's in there is just a piece of wood, really, and a cellulose debris in a canister. It was effective back in the day, but that's actually no active ingredient to eliminate the termites. And so when we would identify there was a problem, then you would have to add the Traylona bait. So we know, hey, termites live in the ground. Let's go ahead and put 2 canisters in there. And we know that this is going to last longer than a year with 2 of them in there. Very effective way of eliminating termites.
Yes. So for me personally, like not long after we met at the gym with your previous company, I ended up having you come in and do the termite or the bait stations because for me, it was, my builder had done a liquid treatment, a pre-treat, I guess they would call it. But I didn't see him do it. And I don't know what it was, but for me, it was just a peace of mind. Like I could see those stations. I could be there if you guys were inspecting them. And like, for me, it was just knowing that something was keeping the termites out of my house where I had to just kind of trust with the liquid. So I've always been a fan of the actual stations over liquid, although I know there's, evidence that they both work. But for me, like it was more of a peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. These are replacing liquid treatments completely because the liquid, it has an expiration on it. After a certain amount of years, 5 years, it's broken down by the water and just outside elements to where it doesn't expire at all. You just continue to renew and you keep up with the system baiting.
So are there any, I know Ruth just told a story, but what's another good story or experience you've had like you've been doing this over a decade now. So like, is there something top of mind that's like another example of besides like renovating a bathroom where you've encountered an unusual or a more normal situation where people can expect, if they're not being treated, to see termites?
A lot of it has came to light on inspections. I have had one customer. He was an older gentleman, and during the inspection, he had this one couch against the window. He's had it for years, and most people don't move their furniture around that often. And so, as I was performing the inspection, with a flashlight looking behind the couch, termites have actually built a carton on the back of the couch and started eating the backing of the sofa furniture because it's made out of a cellulose debris. And so when we removed it, his couch had active termites.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Yeah.
What do you think about using like mulch material in the front of your home, like in flower beds and everything, like wood mulch and things like that? Is that a big no-no because
that's always been a hot topic, whether you use rock, pine straw, or mulch.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing preventative measures on your home to make sure that,
even if they came in like in the mulch, potentially, it wouldn't be.
I wouldn't say they would be delivered in the mulch because termites, they need moisture constantly to survive. So they need to be in the soil.
Okay.
Now with mulch, if you continue to add layers and layers, and it builds up, it does create a lot of moisture in that surface area.
Yeah.
And that could be an attractant. But overall, I wouldn't say one is better than the other.
Okay. That's good to know.
So you mentioned you found that problem at that guy's house on the couch on an inspection. So I think that's one of the things that's unclear is like, why can't you sign up for this just over the phone? Like, why is the inspection process so important? Obviously, you've highlighted one instance, but like, can you kind of talk us through the inspection process and why we need to be there to start the contract?
Absolutely. So during the inspection, really what I'm looking for is any conducive conditions, active termites, previous damage. We want to make sure that if we install our system at your home, that you're going to be protected. And so sometimes with conducive conditions, there's reasons why we can't guarantee that your home's going to be termite free. Conducive conditions, that is a lot of excessive water in a crawl space. It could be a moisture barrier that's not down. And a conducive condition is a reason that termites are favored to those areas. So our stations are great, but if you are doing something on your home to attract the termites already, it's probably not a good fit until you correct those areas.
So I guess one of the good things about inspection is like you basically are pointing out to the homeowner ways that a lot of times those are fixable solutions. Like a lot of times you can fix those problems that are those conducive conditions.
Exactly. Just like we did the initial inspection on your home, you had that condensation line dripping against the foundation, and it's very common. But what happens is it creates just a moisture area right up against the foundation, which is not great for the foundation, but it also is a hot spot that termites could be attracted to.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's something I would not have thought of, a condensation, like the dripping from that.
I know. I was like, oh, is there always something with a home? Like, I was like, Zach, just put the bait stations in. But I did get it moved out.
Yep.
I moved that pipe 6 inches and put it into which caused another problem of drainage problem. So I ended up putting a drop box in, and now I pipe it out to the back of the woods. But, those are the kind of things. I think it's a free inspection to have someone come out. You don't have to pay for anything. And like that alone, could just create a less risky environment for my home, even if I didn't have the termite bait station.
Exactly.
Obviously, though, the situation like you were in at your house during that renovation, it's like, sometimes you can't even see it. So, I mean, having the bait station is really just secures the fact that you're not going to hopefully have that issue.
Absolutely.
Well, do y'all have anything else you want to add on this?
No, this has been very educational.
Good. Anything else, Zach?
I think that.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us. I know termites are something we don't talk a lot about until it's an actual problem, and I think that's one of the things that we've shared together. It's just like most people don't want to pay for it, but when they have the problem, they really see like the benefits of just having it. It's a lot less expensive than actually paying to have your house repaired.
Yeah.
After the
Prevention costs less than the cure.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps us up for episode 5 of Behind the Turf. Again, we're really thankful to have Zack Horne here to talk to us about termites, and hope you'll tune in for the episode 6.